Hello, young scholars. This is Angela at firstdegreebound.com. I hope you're having a great day. I have a question for you because I want to know who you know. Now, what in the world do I mean by that? I just want to ask you a question. Is there a person that you have in your life to whom you can ask questions, to whom you can take some issues that might be of concern to you? And is that person, whomever he or she may be, is that a person whom you know will care whether or not you are successful? Now, one of the things that I'm really getting to is the point that everybody needs to have a mentor of some sort. This is a person to whom you can take some good news to, you can brag about an accomplishment, but it's also a person that you can also go with some questions. You can get advice from that individual. Everybody needs to have a mentor, and I want you to start to think about individuals differently than you've ever thought about them before. Now, of course, your own family, your parents are always there, but I know how it is. Sometimes you might hear some things from mom that, oh, okay, mom. And basically, she's saying things certainly with your benefit in mind, but oftentimes you don't necessarily hear the message. But there may be a person whom you admire outside of the home who also cares whether or not you're going to be successful. You need to find that person. This person can be a teacher. It can be a favorite teacher. It could be a teacher from whom you got all A's last year, and you may not even have that person this year. But if you had a good relationship with that person, I say, you know what? Between classes, stop by and just say hello to her, hello to him. Just let them know you're doing pretty good. You've decided to take a higher version of that class. You're taking the advanced class this year, and you want to let them know that you're doing okay. Number one, this person might end up being a person who might make or break your chances of getting in to the college of your choice, because he or she might be the person writing a great recommendation for you when you start to apply to college. But this person doesn't always have to be a teacher. So if you say, well, my teachers were okay, but I don't really have a relationship with them, maybe there was another person. Maybe there was a guidance counselor, a person for whom or from whom you would find that there was always that nod of approval that you would get from this person, unsolicited, but they were still cheering you on. Well, you know what? Whoever that person is, and I really want you to stop and think, you might find a person who's a possible mentor, who is always there. If you have found, I remember my mother once told me about a teacher that she had. Actually, it wasn't a teacher, but it was a woman who taught other students in her school. And this person would always just go out of her way and say, how are you doing? I hope you're doing okay. This person is a person who expressed concern and interest in her all while she was growing up, and really was a mentor without having been a direct teacher. You know, you have opportunities for being mentored, and one of the primary lessons that many people are taught very early on is to go forth and find thyself a teacher. You need to also do that. Find that, the teacher, the mentor, the individual who's going to care. I tell students when they first get to campus in the fall, find someone in this campus who will give you 5 to 10 minutes of their time at any time to talk to you, because you want to find someone who will care whether or not you graduate and that you are successful. There is someone at that school who is willing, or at that community center, or at your church, who's involved with youth activities, or who's an advisor to a team or a coach, or there are many. I can go on and on and on with my lists, but you need to find a mentor. If you have a hard time finding a mentor, drop me a note. Send me an email at firstdegreebound.com. I will try and find some people in your community. I have a lot of contacts around the country. You need a mentor. Now, there are other ways to find mentors as well. Let's say that you are aspiring to be an engineer. You've always wanted to, you've been very good in science and math, you're not exactly quite sure who is an engineer who lives maybe in your community, which you'd be surprised, there are quite a few. But the fact is that you're not quite sure how you can learn a little bit more. Well, there are people out there. There are outreach programs that professional societies have all the time, and I can assist you with finding some individuals who might be willing to allow you to have an internship in their office, and to allow you maybe, or can encourage that you participate in the summer program. That person can become a mentor for you. My point simply being, pay attention to those who are teaching you. You don't want to just sort of go to class like cattle are sort of being herded through the pasture. You're a little bit more than that, and you deserve a lot more than that, and you should expect more than that. Take a look around. Now, I'm often fascinated when I hear about the relationship that students have, especially athletes have with their coach. In many ways, that relationship is a very strong one. I have seen cases where individuals have gotten college scholarships, or they've even gone on to professional level, and their original high school coach was still there, still mentoring them. Having worked in a graduate school environment, we had a young lady who came who did a master's degree on our campus. She was also a very talented athlete. Her original counselor from high school even followed her through her master's program. My point is simply, you need a mentor. You need a mentor. Everybody does. When you start to go through the college process in your senior year, now hopefully many of you will have a great relationship with your guidance counselor, so you'll have that mentorship that's already built in. But if you don't, there are other mentors that are there. And I urge you to pay close attention to those opportunities to foster a relationship with someone who cares whether or not you're successful. That kind of relationship, trust me, you will treasure for years and years and years to come. That will in fact encourage you someday to become an excellent mentor for someone who's coming behind you. Do you have a mentor? This is an advocate from your community, whether it's school community, church community, social community, neighborhood. You need a leader. Everyone does. And it's something that I encourage you to pay attention to, that one person who calls you in his or her office and says, here, you know what, I thought about you. I saw this application to a scholarship program. I think you'd be a good candidate for it. That person is mentoring you, whether or not you know it. Yes, you need a mentor. You need someone who can guide you through. The ones who are most successful are those individuals who have had that guidance. And I encourage you to find that person who cares whether or not you finish successfully or not. Because there may be times when you just get frustrated, you're ready to throw in the towel, you're ready to drop out, call it a day. It's that mentor who's probably going to end up throwing you that lifeline, who will pull you back in, get you back on focus. And this can happen in anyone's life, in anyone's situation. Everyone needs that kind of relationship with someone. So all I'm simply saying is that I want you to open your eyes and look at people differently. Look at your teachers differently. Look at your school administration differently. Look at your community organizations differently. And pay attention to that one adult who seems to be listening. Not just listening, but hearing the questions, and sometimes even providing the answers before you ask for questions. Because many times, many people don't know what questions to ask. But I encourage you, go and find that mentor. Who do you know? And have you found your mentor? These things I wanted to share with you for something to think about, because you are bright. In the meantime, be wise, be smart, because you're first degree bound. Take care, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.